My name is Amelia. I am 30 years old, and I work in a company. I am a hard-working career woman who loves her job, and since I love my job, you could even say that I am a workaholic. But even if I am a workaholic, I am married to my husband, Todd. I met my husband, Todd, at my previous company that I used to work for. Since we both loved to just work, we often talked about our jobs and about the company we worked at and went out for drinks together. Since then, we gradually got attracted to each other and started to officially go out as a couple. And 3 years has passed in the blink of an eye since we got married. And as we both work, we tend to share the house chores together. Since it has always been this way, I have no particular complaints about Todd or about anything. But for some reason, people around me have been asking me about if we are going to have kids or not recently. It seems that to many people, after 3 years of marriage, it is only normal to have a child or at least get pregnant. Well, it is true that the number of housewives with kids are increasing among my friends who are all in the same age as me. I guess the people who are concerned about it does not mean to be offensive about it, but instead, they are just simply worried and concerned about me. But well, my parents-in-law are being very annoying about it though. Every time Todd and I visit my parents-in-law at their place, they would always ask me about when they would get to see their grandkids. The other day, they even said this: "Maybe it's not good that you both work. Because of that, maybe you don't have time to get pregnant, right?" I don't have time and enough space in my heart to respond to every single comments that my parents-in-law make, so I just shrugged it off. To begin with, neither my husband nor I are in a hurry to have kids right away. Todd and I always talk about me getting pregnant as if it will happen naturally. And since both of us love our jobs, I think that it would be fine if it ends up being just the two of us. Even so, I can't ignore the fact that the pressure we get from the people are getting stronger and stronger, and I feel a little bad when someone mentions the idea of trying to get pregnant to me. On difficult days like that, I unconsciously cook some easy snacks, which goes really well with beer, and eat and drink to forget the topic of getting pregnant or trying to have a baby. I find myself falling asleep on the couch, and seeing me asleep, my husband carries me to the bed. We really do have a well-balanced and harmonious life as a married couple. Why do I have to listen and care about what other people say? Just as I was being a little discouraged about having kids, I received a call from my brother, who was 3 years younger than me, telling me that he and his wife just had a baby. Hearing the news, I went to the hospital with my mother. Once we arrived to the hospital, I saw a very cute, adorable baby in my brother's arms. I was allowed to hold her in my arms, and I was so moved and touched by how the baby was so full of life and energy, even though she was really small. It really was a strange feeling. I see, so this is what it means to have a baby, huh? My younger brother, who was also concerned about his own wife's health, was always with her and spoke to her kindly and took care of her. As his big sister, I always thought that my brother was spoiled and really weak, but he had become a very brave, strong man, and I was moved again to think that this is what it means to become a father. And after this experience, I am a little ashamed at myself for admitting this, but I wanted to have a baby right away. Once I went home, I told my husband about what had happened and about my feelings. When I said that we should try to have a baby, my husband suddenly started to cry. "Huh? What happened? Why are you crying?"
"Well, no, It's happy tears because you said that you wanted a baby and that we should try to have a baby, you know? Actually, I have been wanting to have kids for a long time now.
What? Really? You did? But I thought we agreed to wait and let it happen all naturally.
Well, you said that you still wanted to work hard at your company, Amelia, so I have been actually holding back, you know.
Oh, wow. Is that so? Then I am really sorry for giving you a hard time.
No, it's okay. Let's do our best and try to have a baby from now on.
Finding out about my husband's unexpected feelings, I reflected back on how selfish I was and felt bad. I was living too selfishly, haven't I? A husband and a wife should walk together and cooperate together as a married couple. So, since then, Todd and I did everything we could do for me to get pregnant. We gathered information on the internet, asked friends and their experiences in having kids, and just did everything we could. But no matter how much we tried, unfortunately, I still could not get pregnant at all. And before I knew it, a year passed in no time, and after 4 years of marriage, I could not get pregnant, and we still did not have any kids. My parents-in-law began to blame Todd and I even more harshly, saying it was strange that we could not have a child after trying so hard. So, my husband and I finally decided to undergo infertility treatment. I felt kind of bad about doing something like this, as it felt like we were trying to find out who the culprit was, but I changed my mind and decided to look at the situation from a positive perspective, as treatment can make things better. Todd and I then underwent various tests. After taking various tests, the clinic said that the results would be mailed to us at a later date. Since there was no point at all in being impatient and just being stressed about it, so I went about my business as usual. Then, one day after work, I suddenly received a text message from my husband. He had texted me asking to meet him at a bar. How unusual. Does this mean that he wants to eat out for the first time in a while? My husband is basically the type of person who likes to drink at home and doesn't want to go out that much. I replied back asking, "What's wrong?" But to that, he replied, "Just come over." I wondered what it was about, but since it was within walking distance from where I worked at, I headed to the bar anyway. When I arrived at the bar, my husband saw me and waved at me to come over. We sat down together and I ordered the same beer that my husband was drinking. As we ate our appetizers, I asked my husband, "What's wrong?" asking me to come over here all of a sudden. To that, my husband replied, "I wanted to talk to you about something." And suddenly, he became serious.
A person will come in a few minutes, so please hold on until then.
Oh? Someone's coming over too?
Yeah.
I thought that this all sounded a little complicated, but I just continued to drink the beer and waited around with my husband for someone to come. Since I was getting a little hungry, we ordered fried chicken and some other snacks, which goes well with the beer. And about 10 minutes later, a woman whom I've never seen before came toward our table.
"Oh, Kendall. Over here. Over here."
The woman called Kendall came over, and she sat down beside Todd. She looked very young, so she is maybe in her early 20s, which means she must have just started working.
"Would you like a beer too, Kendall?"
Yes, please. Thank you. My husband orders the beer for Kendall as if this was a normal thing to do. Sorry, but who are you?
Her name is Kendall, and she's one of my colleagues at work. She recently joined our company.
Hi, nice to meet you. Oh, hi. What is the meaning of this? What's the reason for my husband to bring his colleague here out of the blue? Just what kind of situation is this? A lot of questions began to pop up in my head. I noticed that the beer was also placed in front of Kendall, and to this my husband said, "Cheers." So I hurriedly toasted with my can of beer as well. Why is Miss Kendall brought over here? And besides, you said that you wanted to talk to me about something earlier on, Todd, so what is it that you want to talk to me about? If I didn't say or question anything at this point, the conversation wouldn't go anywhere, so I couldn't help but ask Todd about it. Then, my husband and Kendall both put down their beer and got very serious.
Amelia, please listen to me. Kendall got pregnant, and she is having a baby.
Oh, really? Kendall's becoming a mother even though she's young, huh? It must be tough.
And the baby is mine.
What? Hearing this outrageous news, it felt as if I was being hit on the head from behind with a bat or something.
I'm really sorry, Amelia. Since I got Kendall pregnant with the baby, I want us to get a divorce.
Excuse me? Miss Amelia, please. I want to be with Todd so that we could raise our baby together. I really couldn't wrap my head around what both Todd and Kendall was saying. You mean to say that despite all what my husband has said about doing our best on trying to have a baby and getting infertility treatment with me, he just happened to have a child with someone he played around with, so now he's going to leave me and be with that person? This is just really unbelievable.
I really feel bad about what I did, Amelia.
Since when?
Huh?
I'm asking you, since how long have you been having an affair with her behind my back?
Well, let's see.
It was about 6 months ago in April. That was when I just joined the company then, and we had a welcoming party, and on the way home I asked him, "All right, that's enough, thank you." So that's how the affair started, huh? Both my husband and Kendall nodded together.
I know that this is not something that you'd expect at all, Amelia. But the fact that Kendall and I had a child so easily like this makes me think that she and I were destined to be together. Because, Amelia, we try so hard to have a baby and for you to get pregnant, but in the end, you couldn't get pregnant, right? So, I'm really sorry to you, Amelia, but I want you to divorce me and go on our own ways.
Hearing what he had to say, I was just so pissed off that I didn't know what to say back to him. Who the hell does he think he is? Was Todd saying that just because I couldn't get pregnant and couldn't have a baby, so this woman was way better than me? And was Todd saying that because that this woman has a child, my marriage to him is no longer important to Todd? Is this all what Todd thought of me as? I mean, why would Todd even make me come over to a bar to talk such important things like divorce? And Todd just ordered beer as if it was a casual thing, right? Does he think that we can talk about divorce and how our married life is in shambles in a stupid bar? How dare you underestimate me? You are such an asshole. Thinking all these things, my anger exploded at once, and I poured the beer I was holding in my hand onto my husband. Oh, Todd! Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was prepared for this to happen so that I can be with you, Kendall. I need to put up with it.
Oh, Todd! I was beyond disgusted. Who the hell do they think they are? Both Todd and Kendall was in their own world. I will gladly divorce a stupid guy like you. And with that, I left the bar. I then went back home first and packed my bags. And that was when I suddenly saw a mail in the post, so I had taken it out to see what it was. Oh, this. And there, I learned the shocking truth. Thinking that I could use this, I quickly packed up my belongings and left home. For the time being, I went back to my parents' house and explained the situation to them. Both my parents were upset with my husband and how he acted towards me, so they told me that I could stay as long as I wanted. The apartment I was living in with my husband was rented under his name, so I had no right to continue and live there. Besides, I didn't want to live there anymore because I was too disgusted to think that maybe that woman was using the apartment too. A few days later, my husband sent me the divorce papers, so I signed the papers and submitted them right away. With this, the divorce was finalized smoothly. As for the alimonies, I hired a lawyer and got my ex-husband and Kendall to pay me $20,000 each. A few months later, it seems like Todd and Kendall got married. Since it was indeed a shotgun marriage for Kendall, she quit her company and became a full-time housewife to Todd. I then waited for the perfect time to come. Kendall had told me how many months had passed since she got pregnant previously when I was divorcing Todd, so there were a few more months until the time when Todd and Kendall's baby would be born. Then, I visited Todd and his parents at the right time when their baby would be born. Todd's parents were very surprised that I came out of the blue to visit them. I had heard from my ex-husband that his parents had agreed with him, saying that he should switch to a younger woman than me if he was going to have a baby. So when I saw my ex-mother-in-law's face, I really had the urge to hit her. And Todd's parents were being surprised. But I heard a familiar voice coming from behind. It was my ex-husband.
Oh, you? Why the hell are you here?
In his arms was a small baby. The baby was innocent, but because the baby's parents are Todd and Kendall, I didn't think that the baby wasn't that cute at all. Well, I came here to talk to your parents. But good thing that you're here too.
What is it?
I'll make it quick, okay? That baby isn't yours.
What the? This baby is mine.
I'm sorry to say this, but that baby isn't yours.
Based on what information are you even saying that? You're not saying that out of spite, are you?
No, because it's not. It's just the truth. Well, it could be from just a small revenge too, but did you know that your body is incapable of having any kids?
What?
Well, this is the evidence. These are the results of the fertility tests. My ex-husband and his mother both looked over the documents. And as they read on, their faces grew paler and paler. The results showed that my ex-husband's body was completely incapable of having kids. So, there was no possibility of having a child if it was with him.
Well, then this baby is...
It would mean that this baby is another man's child. But, well, I'm not really sure if Kendall is in touch with that man, but yeah.
No way!
My ex-husband slumps down from all the shock. Well, that's it then. Goodbye. It was quite refreshing to see my ex-husband's reaction and his face looking very hopeless. And no doubt, Kendall will get what she deserves after she comes back. They all got what they deserved. Later, I heard what had happened with Todd and Kendall from a friend of mine who works at Todd's office, and it turns out that Kendall and Todd got divorced after all. My ex-husband was not only an asshole, but also an idiot for cheating on me and recognizing too late that the baby was someone else's child. And since people found out about what had happened, a lot of people thought that he was stupid enough to be too gullible about what was happening. People at his workplace also seemed to look at Todd coldly Because of that, and since Todd was having a hard time at work, he also got demoted in the end. This is what Todd gets and deserves. On the other hand, as for me, as a result of my hard work, I was promoted and my income went up drastically. I am now living alone in a very nice apartment in the city and enjoying a very comfortable life. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.